we do have some things to get into, starting specifically with some updates on Mathew Barzal.
Yeah, so I guess Matt Larkin from the Hockey News spoke with him, and there's one really big quote coming out of what he said. And even leading up to that, we'd seen a lot more of Mathew Barzal, right? He was at the US Open, he had the photo shoots leading into the season for the Islanders and various other whatever media organizations related to the NHL. Anyway, so we're getting more Matt Barzal content. We're getting hungry for Matt Barzal coming back because he missed 3/4 of last season with an injury, and we're dying to have him back on the team. And then we get this quote here from Matt Larkin, and I don't know if you want to pop it on the screen, but I can read it out here.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up right now as you read it,
just so the video people can have something to look at instead of just listening to me read. So injuries like this, you potentially never feel back at 100%. But mentally, I'm at a point now where it doesn't really matter. If I'm feeling great, if maybe one day I'm a little sore, whatever, it is what it is. And I got 6 more years left on my contract right now, and I'm fully committed to just doing everything I can to be the best player I can be. And then there's another quote that Larkin didn't add here, just saying that he feels 100% ready to suit up if the Isles had a game tomorrow.
Yeah, so Mitch, this honestly gave me mixed feelings because as Twitter works, you see the caption or the actual tweet before the picture, right? So I read the first thing you see is Mathew Barzal injury update says he'd be 100% ready to suit up if Isles had a game tomorrow. Initial thought, awesome. That's great. I can't wait. Mathew Barzal, as you pointed out, he missed the majority of the season last year. Islanders really missed him. And then you open the picture of the tweet. I'm expecting to read like a nice, I'm feeling great. I can't wait to get on the ice. And that first line, injuries like this, you potentially never feel back at 100%. That's a scary line. There's no other word to use other than that's scary, because to me, he's saying that there's a chance he's never right from this.
Yeah, I want to make this clear from the start. I appreciate Mathew Barzal's honesty and candor here. This is him just not shooting from the hip, but just telling it as it is. And I want to make sure that I make it known that I'm appreciative of that, because we don't necessarily get that kind of honesty and candor from these players, specifically when it comes to injuries. But you're right. It does sound like, are we ever going to see Mathew Barzal at 100%? I feel like he's basically saying, I feel like I'm 100%. I'll probably be totally fine. But there's that one little nagging thing behind your head going like, some guys never come back from this. So it's maybe him speaking out his worries rather than confirming what, our worst fears type of thing.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And that made me feel a little bit better, honestly, because without him hearing, like, we're just reading the words, right? Yeah. It's not like we were there to hear what the question was and how he was responding. And that's not, I'm not taking a shot here at, the journalist who did the interview, Matt Larkin. Like, we don't know, because we don't have that information readily available to us. But you're right. It could be him talking about like, yeah, I'm good to go. I'm ready to play. At the same time, like, this is an injury that, it takes a toll. And we know, like, hockey's a physical game. These guys sometimes get hurt and aren't the same after that. I do think, though, that it's natural for Islanders fans to have that initial reaction of, oh, shit, like, this might be worse than originally anticipated with Mathew Barzal.
Yeah, there'd be nothing worse than, like, Mathew Barzal just being a 60-point player the rest of his career, which is not obviously terrible, but we're hoping for the guy comes back and he's that 85-point player, maybe even more, as I talked about, maybe a 30-goal scorer. Please. But when you read something like that, you potentially never feel back at 100%. Oh, and like, if I'm feeling great, if maybe one day I'm a little sore, whatever, it is what it is. Like, I think that's him trying to speak through the anxieties of rehabbing from an injury. That's what I'm telling myself from it. Because when you read it that way, sometimes that doesn't. Sometimes when you read it that way, it may not sound great. It might confirm the idea that he's never going to be 100%. He might be 99%, which is still pretty freaking good. Because I'm not 100%. Like, my shoulder, this one here, whenever I even do a bench press, it hurts. It's not even hurt. It's like, it feels like locking. Like it just locks, and there's nothing I can do about it. I've tried everything and it just never feels 100%. I'll probably never be 100%. And I don't play NHL hockey. I'm just some bum sitting on a chair.
No, right. You reach a certain age where you're just not going to be the same again. Mathew Barzal's a couple of years younger than both of us, but still, you know, he's entering his late 20s now. Like this, you know, sometimes this stuff happens, but you know, it's kind of perfect because at the start of the show we were talking about like this is the end of the quiet time. We were texting before about like training camp starting up soon and how it's going to be the 2025-26 season like soon, like really soon. So even with the comments that you had and how it can be interpreted with a negative interpretation, it's still exciting to get to the point where you're looking forward to another season, even if expectations aren't where maybe they were a few years ago.
That's true. And look, you see most, I'm looking at it now because I just typed in Barzal in Twitter, and all I'm seeing in the top is just pictures of Matt Barzal, full on smiles. He's got the original Matt Barzal lettuce, like the flow at the back, which he hasn't had in like 6 years under Lou Lamoriello, or 8 years, however long it was. He's feeling nice and fresh. Emotionally, I think Mathew Barzal is going to be at a state where he hasn't been before or since like he won the Calder Trophy. And so I think that's going to maybe help overcome some of those emotional negativities from that injury. It's me again. There's a lot of copium happening right now.
There is some serious copium in there, but I think that's the only approach that we could have, right? There's nothing else to do because we haven't seen him on the ice. It's not like, you know, we saw him out there and he looked slow. Like, oh my God, like the speed is just not there anymore. We have no idea until he's actually going to get out there.
Yeah. And like we all kind of watched that, and I'm sure we've all seen it. And if you haven't, please go to the Islanders YouTube channel. A little bit more on that later. They put out that first episode there, and Mathew Barzal's first comments to Matthew Schaefer after being drafted was, "Matty, what's up, you stud? We're going to be dancing out there. We're going to be dancing out there." So to me, that kind of confirms like I'm going to be okay enough to just be doing laps and doing my normal water buggy type of play.
Can we go to that? Can I pull? I had the video.
Yes, please.
Up, but since you referenced it, is it too early? I'm going to go to it anyway because I want to hear it.
Matty, what's up, you stud? Congrats, dude. I'm so happy to have you aboard, man.
Thank you. I can't wait.
We're gonna be dancing out there.
Yeah.
Matty,
Let's go.
What's up, buddy? We're gonna be dancing out there.
If you listen, there's two other phone interviews that they show or air, I guess, in that episode. He speaks to Anders Lee and he speaks to Bo Horvat, and they're a little bit more. They're obviously very congratulatory, but they're a little bit more businessy. But then Matty gets on the phone, Mathew Barzal, and it's just, buddy, what's up? Like absolute just chums. And I friggin' love it. He's going to be Gary number 3 within seconds at camp. It will be Matthew Schaefer, no doubt.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch that. Like even if that's something that, you know, this year isn't a playoff year, how can you not be excited about Matthew Schaefer joining this team and the potential that he would have playing with Mathew Barzal? And like, there's going to be things to look for on this team, even if they're not winning games, I guess is my point.
So like you go into this quote from Mathew Barzal, maybe with a little bit of trepidation, but once you start looking at it a little bit more and peeling back a bit of the layers, you're going, there's a bit more to like in this. And I think there's a lot of just pure honesty out of there, which is something we haven't seen from Mathew Barzal since he took those like 4 sticks to the face against the Winnipeg Jets in 18-19 and referenced Kendall Jenner. I don't think we've seen him be honest since then.
No.
Sorry. I don't mean to say he's been lying, but he's been holding back because of the PR training with Lou.
His true self. Yeah. His true self. They're a little bit more reserved over the last, previous 7 years. And, it's a new era. It's very evident that it's a new era right now for the Islanders as the digital series that dropped